Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Nick and welcome back to the Nick Express, where I like to express my opinions on a variety of different topics. Coming guys with another album ranking. This is Tickets to My Downfall from MGK. If you didn't know, I just did an MGK Tickets to My Downfall album reaction literally yesterday when it just came out. So I feel like it just makes more sense to do the album ranking the next day, even if it's still pretty fresh in my head. But I took more time, did some re-listens, and a few things have changed slightly here and there. And yes, I'm wearing a tank top this time. I knew I would be doing this, and I told you it would be back pretty soon, so wearing tank top. And it's still pretty hot here, man, so that's why I wear tank tops, again, if you guys don't know that. But I really want to get straight into this album ranking list, and even if it's at the bottom, man, it's still one I probably still enjoy. So if you guys are new here, please click that like button, subscribe, join on the conversation, because as I like to say here, this is a place to express yourself, just like I am. And without further ado, let's get into Tickets for Downfall, man. So coming at the bottom, number 15, because there are 15 tracks here, and I am including all of them, even the interludes. Kevin a Barracuda interlude literally is number 15, and if you didn't watch my reaction, I just thought, even though it's not a song, it's just an interlude and builds in a concert for aliens, and it was kind of funny. It honestly just like didn't do much for me. I was just kind of like, I could have done without this. It was kind of stupid, silly, funny, but I'm not one, again, to kind of be laughing all about drugs. Like, I like some movies like Superbad, or like it depends on what they're trying to do with it. And to me, it just didn't really make that much sense. I just kind of felt like, this is funny, let's just put it on here. It kind of makes sense to connect it with Concert for Aliens. And either way, it's like, okay, but it's just nothing I would really come back to. When I get to the other interlude, you'll understand more of my thoughts then. But yeah, this just comes at the bottom because it's really not one I'm definitely not going to come back to for any really reason. So that's number 15, Kevin and Barracuda. Number 14, Nothing Inside, with the feature being Ian or Ian Dior again. So coming off of that song, this is still my bottom on the list here. I still enjoyed it, but there was just things that really were holding it back for me. Again, I didn't know who the feature was, so that wasn't really a big deal or anything. I just thought it sounded familiar to like something that they would have done on the new 9 album from Blink-182, because there's a lot of influence in Blink on this album, and obviously Travis is on it. So I just thought like Oliver Tree sounded similar to him, and then like it could have been done maybe better from Oliver Tree, because even Oliver Tree collabed with Blink, and it just kept like giving me like these mixed messages of just like, man, I could have like, this could have been done like this, or like this could have been done like that. And as much as there were parts I enjoyed, it just never really built to anything I was really like coming through. Like, I could maybe have it on once in a while, but it's just really not one I would come back to. And I just kept thinking to myself, as much as I have some enjoyment in certain parts, there's just other parts that really like don't really sell it for me. And I thought I was gonna like almost every song off this album, and even if I still enjoy it, it's just the one I had to put on the bottom of the list. And it really, I was sad that I didn't like it as much as I did. I was really hoping that all the songs would be, top tier, but regardless, that's what happened. And Nothing Inside, it was okay, but again, not my cup of tea, because we all have that personal preference. So coming into number 13, I have my list here just to let you guys know, just to help me out a little bit, just gotta have my list out here. But number 13, Play This When I'm Gone. Now, when I initially first heard the song, I didn't have that background information that it was a song made for his daughter, and I kind of thought he was talking to Megan Fox, and maybe there could be some of that to actually be true. But at the end of the day, I figured out and read and saw that it was all about his daughter. And it's kind of sad. It's like he's gonna make this song in case he ever dies or something. It's like, bro, like, it was definitely emotional. Like, I felt the emotion in there, and I guess like I enjoyed it more after we listened, but and especially when I knew what it was actually about. But I just kept thinking, like, this doesn't really feel like a closing song. Like, I felt like Halsey's feature, Forget Me Too, would have been a better closer. And I don't know why he really felt like he needed to end his album when he had such a banger beginning. Why would you want to leave it on that note like that? I don't know. So I enjoyed it more after. It's still like not my favorites that I would have come back to, because again, I just felt like when I heard it, it didn't really resonate with me, which is true because it's meant for his daughter. And if you enjoy it, that's cool. But for me, it's just like I just can't really see myself coming back to it, because it feels like it's not really meant for a larger audience. I mean, yeah, maybe you can take some things away from it, or you can like maybe put yourself in that position where you can kind of feel like what's going on in their personal life. But again, as much as I enjoyed it, towards the end when he kept saying I miss you, there were just some things that were not really hitting the mark for me. But again, with a bit more context, it makes it a bit more enjoyable, and I do still have a bit of things I can like about it. But at the end of the day, comes in number 13. Number 12, sorry, number 12, Lonely. Now this one, it was a bit harder because here we start to get, okay, this is a bit more enjoyable in certain aspects, but the more I listen to this one, it was catchy. A lot of these songs on these albums are catchy. Like, I have to give them that because there's a lot of like just cool rhythms and beats, and again, it's catchy, so you can keep kind of listening to it and be like, okay, I can like rhythm to this beat, I can dig this beat. It's pretty cool, and so I enjoyed Lonely. I could come back to this one, but again, felt like a song from Blink-182's 9 album, and I enjoyed that album. And being a big Blink fan, which I said in my full album reaction, I'm a big Blink-182 fan, love pop punk. That's why I was kind of biased coming to this album, and even the ones lower on my list are kind of surprised to me because I thought I was gonna enjoy all of them. Lonely, just it felt like it was from the 9 album. Maybe something would be made more modern from Blink, but even if it has that catchiness, it came in at the lower bottom of this album just for me because I would listen to it, but I just want to be one that I would really like love like some of these tracks I do love, and this one is enjoyable, has a bit more than the really bottom ones here, but just not enough to really rank it that much higher. Number 11, My Ex's Best Friend. Now this initially was a slight bit higher on my list, but after listening to Trippie Redd's feature, which I'm not some big Trippie Redd fan, nor am I that big of a Black Bear fan, I just thought this one just it's okay. This one has a bit more pizzazz to it, a bit more spunk, and it's kind of repetitive and just pretty short. A lot of these songs are short, but they kept kind of falling to the bottom the more I listened to the other tracks that I liked more, and I was just like, this one I could at least actually like leave it on the background. I could play it a bit more. It does have that catchy flair and vibe to it, and I do enjoy a lot of it compared to the ones I listed lower here, but there's just parts of it that I'm just like, okay, but there's a lot more substance in the in the higher list of songs that I listed on here, and so I had to put it at 11. I enjoy it. It's got an okay feature from Black Bear, but he's done better features, especially on the All Time Low album, and so I enjoyed it here, but still could have been something maybe even not even better, but something just again not my cup of tea, and could have asked for maybe a bit more just than just the kind of rap and rock type of mixed vibe there, but that's just me. Number 10, All I Know. Now this I had to put just like because I really did enjoy this one more, especially after re-listens and having the Trippie Redd feature. I was like, I like this one actually a bit more than the Black Bear collab after re-listens. At first I was like, nah, but I actually liked it more. It has again a catchy feeling to it, but I could come back to this one more. I don't know, there's something about it where I was like, maybe I just either heard My Ex's Best Friend too much, or I just thought it was being just overplayed, maybe. I don't know. It seems like everyone's like My Ex's Best Friend. I'm just like, I really like All I Know more, and I think I could come back to this one a bit more, and actually thoroughly have a good time with it. I think it's cut short a bit. I think it's cut short a bit too short, but I think for the most part, it gets the job done just about by that 2-minute mark. So I really liked it. I think it's thoroughly enjoyable. And if I'm going to choose one between the Black Bear feature and the Trippie Redd feature, I think I would take the Trippie Redd feature. But again, that's just me. Number 9, Kiss Kiss. Now this one I really do like a lot. I have a lot to enjoy about this song. It's a decent length. It has a lot of like kicking drums and guitars. It felt so simple to me. And the lyric content, again, not like I'm expecting much from this album, but I would come back and play this. I would like listen to it a lot, and I would enjoy it. I still enjoy it, but I had to put it at number 9 because I'm just like, it's just saying like kiss kiss, like it's cool, and I don't really mind it too much. But at the end of the day, just again the substance, I feel like there's not much like kissing the bottle away. Like I like it, but there's not too much under the surface here. It's just kind of like, okay, yeah, I get what you're trying to say. You're kind of just repeating things here, and as I like how you ended, and you have some kicking guitars and stuff going on in the end and the third act. It's just I could ask for maybe a little bit more than just kind of being that simple, but I still really enjoyed it for the most part, and I am really the higher we get, the more I enjoy these songs more and more. So that's where I would put Kiss Kiss. Number 8, Drunk Face. Now this one was hard between this one and Kiss Kiss because Drunk Face doesn't have as much kicking guitars and drums, but it has a flow with the drums and the guitars, but it's not like fast or anything. It just kind of does a bit of its repetitiveness, but I don't know. I think this one is just like a chill song you could vibe to. This one you could just kind of have in the background. You could overplay it in the background. You could just have it on. Like I really could just chill to this song and just vibe. And I like Kiss Kiss and this one for different reasons. They're almost on the similar playing fields, but I could just play Drunk Face more because at least it feels like there's a bit more lyrical content that I can like kind of dig myself into. Not by much, but it's still it was really hard, man, because I had similar feelings, but for different reasons, which is a pretty interesting concept in my mind. But I like Drunk Face. It wasn't like too over the top. It wasn't too under either, but it was in that kind of middle ground. I was like, okay, I enjoy this just a bit more, and I have a bit more of replayability with it. But this and Kiss Kiss are kind of both on similar playing fields in my mind, but I just rank it a bit higher. Coming in at number 7 is World War III. Now this was like I would probably rate this super higher, but it's only a minute. It's barely a song. It feels like a snippet of what could have been just a fantastic banger song, like Concert for Aliens or Tickets to My Downfall, but it's so short. It's just kind of like what Blink does with Generational Divide, or just their kind of like jokey, small, short songs where it feels this fast pace. And it's like, I love this sound so much, and it's like, even for being a minute, it's in the middle of my list here, and it's like so good, and I love everything from the guitars, the drums, and the pace, and just the stuff he's saying. It's just like, oh, if it could have been just longer, it would have been higher, but number 7, it's pretty good for being only about a minute long, so really enjoyed World War III. Number 6, we got Banyan Tree, which is the second interlude, and this one compared to the other interlude that I put at the very bottom. You have Megan Fox and him talking. It's very kind of like quaint and peaceful and like deep and emotional. And then he starts playing the guitar, and it just like it felt like it was really just nice and sweet and emotional. I really liked that dynamic, and I felt like he could have turned this one into a whole song too. But I get it's an interlude, and this is like I don't really come back to interludes really. Granted, I haven't like listened to tons and tons of interludes, but I've done a few. And I just think this is like one of my favorite ones that I've ever heard in an album before. And like that's just really cool, especially when it's, you know, just from last night when it came out. And so I would actually come back to this interlude just for the pure kind of like feelings I get from it. And then he really kind of rocks out for a few seconds there, and then it ends. And that's why it's like, oh, if you could have just made it a full song too, it would have been so cool. But I really like it. And it's a cool interlude, man. Definitely check it out if you haven't. I really liked Banyan Tree. I was not expecting it to be like that, but it was really, you know, it gave me some cool feelings, and I like that. Number 5, we have Jawbreaker. Now this is just under 2 minutes, but this one's like a really nice pace song. He's like, Jawbreaker, and it's just like, I don't know, like it's catchy, but he does those guitars really well in the end too, like the last 20 seconds. So from beginning to end, how short it is, it's just the right pace, and it's kind of like not as fast as World War III, but like it's maybe just below World War III's kind of pace, but it's a bit longer, so I can kind of feel like it's a full song, and the lyrical content has enough to kind of like move you throughout the entire song, and it just feels like it fits. So it's one I could actually come back to and have a really good time with it. I really, really like it. I think it's a really fantastic song. Just again, pretty short, but it gets the job done, and I really like it, man. It's a really enjoyable song. Number 4, Bloody Valentine, one of the first, or there is the first track that came out when he announced this album, I believe. And so, you know, this is clearly like the biggest influence from Blink. I think this is just a really banger track. I know it's, you know, copying a lot of things, and it's got similarities to Blink, obviously, but I just like the momentum he builds, and I like the kind of like it's not going too fast, but then towards the end you build, so it's like it's over 3 minutes, so it's like an actual song length. Like you can feel the song in it, and it from beginning to end it has a beginning, middle, and end. And I just thought he did all of the parts really well, and then you get to the end of the song and it was just built to that last moment pretty well. And I really just enjoy Bloody Valentine a lot. It's one of the top tier tracks on this album, and I come back to it a lot, and I was listening to it a ton before the album even came out, so had a lot of fun with this one. Number 3, we have Concert for Aliens. Now, Concert for Aliens is undoubtedly, like, you know, we're on the top 3 now. Concert for Aliens is fantastic. The second song that was released, and I was like, dude, this is like clear like Blink. I love the just intro and the beginning, and then you get to the middle, and then it's just like the, and it's like upside down, upside, like it's just so good. And sorry guys, got a stupid little itch there. It's just so good, man. It's just so good, and I could come back to this one. I've been the Bloody Valentine and Concert for Aliens I was coming back to a ton. I still am gonna come back to them. I think Concert for Aliens is fantastic. Don't like the interlude built into it, but I like the music video. I like a lot about it, and Comes for Aliens, it's just got that clear, nostalgic type of Blink vibe, but it does it so well. And Travis, again, throughout all these songs, and this one too, he just kills it with his drumming. I love it so much. Top two here, Forget Me Now, or Forget Me Too, my bad, Forget Me Too. With Halsey feature, man, I really like this feature. Heard some mixed things about her feature, but I thought it was a perfect length. It's a great feature, and it just reminded me like a mixture of Simple Plan and kind of like Paramore a bit. But like I don't listen to too much Paramore, but like there was just similarities to like that early 2000s, 2010, middle 20s type of pop punk, and I just missed it. And I thought from his lyrics to her lyrics to their collab, because they're both big Blink fans, and she was with 11 Minutes with Travis Barker, and she even sings about Blink in the Chainsmokers song, so she's a fan. And I just thought she did a fantastic job, and it was really a big standout. Maybe my expectations were low, but she just doesn't come in for one verse. She comes in, she sings, and she even comes back in the third act, and hear her background vocals and her kind of like screaming her voice, and it's so nice. And I just thought they even wrapped it up really well, and so it's one of the top tracks from this album, and one I'm going to definitely come back to on a regular basis, that's for sure. Because like out of all the features I heard from Halsey, this is like her best one, beats any of like that Marshmello or pop collaborations. Like this is pure raw collaboration. I loved it so much. I love listening to the song, man. It's really good. And then we have the top song for me personally, the title track, Tickets to My Downfall, being in the top space. I just thought it starts off in that slow pace, but by the time it gets to like Tickets to My Downfall, and then like he gets in like a nice pace building into the third act, and then by the time he's just like Take it to my downfall, like just like so like ugh. And it just ends and get that little acoustic part from the beginning coming back in the end. It just all came together. Title track. I love when the title tracks and the name of the album are like a really fantastic song. I think it just makes the album as a whole a bit stronger when the title track is such a banger. So I really loved the title track, man. Tickets to My Downfall. So much to love about the guitars and the drumming and just that pure originality that you can really feel, even though he's taking influence from Blink and these pop punk type of ways you view and listen pop punk and that they were made. And so cohesively, I gave this album a 3.0 to 3.5 in my album reaction, so I still stand by that, kind of in that middle ground, passing grade there. But I really enjoyed this album, man. A couple things changed slightly after my initial reaction, and I just thought I'd give you guys a ranking, give you some extra content, my deep dive thoughts, and since it's still technically people hear it today, it's pretty fresh in my mind, and I wanted to get this out here and give you more of my thoughts and opinions, because that's what I like to do here, because you guys know this is a place to express yourself, just like I am. And if you guys are new here, please click that like button, subscribe. If you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys join me for my next videos. Peace, everybody.